Oh death, oh death, just look what you done. Oh death, just look what you done. Oh death, just look what you done. Took my woman, left me alone. It was 2 in the morning when death walked in the room. It was 2 in the morning when death walked in the room. It was 2 in the morning when death walked in the room. Took my woman, left my bed like a tomb. You stole my woman and took her to the other side. You stole my woman and took her to the other side. You stole my woman and took her to the other side. When I saw that she'd gone, Lord, how I cried. Oh, death, don't leave me alone on earth so cold. Oh, death, don't leave me alone on earth so cold. Oh, death, don't leave me alone on earth so cold. I don't wanna be alone. And when will death come take me from this world? When will death come take me from this world? When will death come take me from this world? Lord, don't keep me here, I'm ready to go.
My father called last week to wish me happy birthday. It's the first time he's done it in years. I didn't talk to him. Jessica, my wife, she's the one who she thought it might be good to talk to. So she's the one who talked to him, which was difficult because she didn't know I still had a dad. I told her that he had died, which was fine, except one day this guy calls up out of the blue and he says, "Can I speak to Isaac, please?" And she says, "He's not in at the moment. Can you leave a message?" And he says, "You tell him this his father called." And she says, "Okay, who's this?" And he says, "This is Isaac's father. Who's this?" And she says, "I'm his wife." And he says, he laughs kinda. And he says, "He didn't tell me he got married." I mean, most people would be like, "Oh, screw you, this is bullshit, this is..." Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't normally swear. I'm not... most people would say it's just bull crap, but you gotta understand, you know, my father can be very persuasive. He's got this voice. It's like low, rumbly kind of burr. It's very solid and trustworthy. I didn't inherit it. I kind of sound like a Jewish dentist. I mean, it's not really a voice that inspires devotion in others. So, but before long, you know, before Jessica started talking, he started talking and she started listening. And by the sound of it, it sounded like they had quite the chat. They went on about how long we've been married, why we don't have. And it seemed like the two of them were getting on like a house on fire. And I'm hearing this all secondhand, you know, from my wife who's laying into me. I mean, she won't quit asking me why. Like, why won't you talk to him? And she won't quit. She won't quit going at it, even though it's my birthday. I might add, I'm still the birthday. But anyway, I say, "Oh, fine, okay, fine. I'll tell you why we don't speak anymore." You know, my mother died when I was very young. And that just left me and my father. And he raised me all by himself. I don't really remember my mom, but my father, Jesus, he was a rock. He has stone gray hair. He smelt of Old Spice. He was admired. He was respected. He was a pastor. He was very serious. Don't get me wrong. He loved me, but, it wasn't like he was one of those touchy-feely kind of dads. Like we weren't going to be holding hands, walking the sidewalk or anything like that or horsing around, but I knew he loved me because, I could make him smile. Like when I was a kid, he'd be in his study working on a sermon, and I'd come in to show him some magic trick or some painting or drawing that I was working on. You know how kids are. And, he wouldn't just look at me and be like, "That's great, honey. Yay, woohoo, yo, woohoo." No. No, he would stop what he's doing. He would look at you. And that serious face would thaw into this smile that cocked to one side of the mouth. And the little crow's feet would wrinkle around the eyes from the smiling and the wrinkling. And he smiled like that, like really smiled, like, yeah, I knew he loved me. And there were two things in this world he loved more than anything else: me and God. One day, God started speaking to him. No. I know I said he was a pastor. It kind of comes with the territory, but this wasn't one of those like, he's always there when you need him. No. No, it was more like Abraham, this is God. Listen up. No, we were in the kitchen and he just dropped his coffee cup over breakfast. He smashed it. And I look at him and he's staring off into space. And it's like, he's looking at something I can't see. And I say, "Daddy." And he turns to me, "Yes, son?" And I'm like, "What you doing?" And he says, "He just spoke to me." And I say, "Who?" And he says, "God." Now, I hardly saw him after that. Sure, yeah, he was still around the house, still carried on working, taking care of me and everything. But, he'd be gone for hours on end. I wouldn't even know where. I know there was this one time outside in the backyard at night, and I saw him out there. I was in my pajamas waiting for him to tuck me in. And I walk outside and I see him, he's looking up at the sky. And it's this big sky full of stars. It was huge. And I stand next to him and I slide my hand in his. And he's smiling and I'm thinking, this is pretty cool. I'm out late like an actual grown-up, And I realize he has no idea I'm there. He was miles away. And I say, "Daddy, Dad." And he looks at me, he's like, and I said, "What you doing?" And he gets quiet for a moment and he looks at me and he says, "Just listening to him." And then he went back up to the sky and he started smiling. I don't know, 2 weeks later, I wake up in the middle of the night and he's sitting on the edge of my bed. And he's got his hands resting in his lap and his big dark eyes are resting on his brows and he's looking at me and I can see through the curtains that it's still dark out. And I'm like, "Daddy, what's that?" And he says, "It's okay, son. We need to get up, get dressed, and I'll tell you more on the way." And he walks me to the bathroom and I see that he's run a fresh bath for me. And he waits outside while I pee, and then he comes in and he picks me up and he puts me in the tub and he begins scrubbing at me real thorough-like, making sure there's not a speck of dirt left. And then he picks me up out of the tub and he wraps me up in this big pink towel and he starts drying me off. And he runs this brush through my hair, trying to get out all the knots. And then he walks me back to the bedroom and I see that he's laid my clothes out for me. And it's my Sunday's best and he starts dressing me real meticulous, like he's really focused on getting all the buttons and the laces and the creases out. And I'm thinking this is kind of strange because this is the most attentive he's been with me for some time. And he stands back and he just nods to himself. He smiles to himself like he's happy with how I look. But when I look at his face, I notice he's not actually smiling. He takes me downstairs and I see there's this big sports bag on the kitchen table. And he picks it up and he opens the door and he says, "Come on." And I walk out and he grabs my hand and he puts it in his, and it feels so small. It's like a tiny fish. And he leads me out the back door and up over the hill, through the tall grass to the top. You know, we're walking hand in hand, but we're walking in silence. I mean, it's not a hard walk, but I'm having to walk four steps for every one of his giant, and I'm getting hot and I'm getting sweaty and a little bit breathless, but I don't want to say nothing because he looks so focused and determined, and I don't want to. I don't want to. And we get to the top of this clearing, and we can see the whole town under the stars. And it looked really beautiful. I remember, teenagers used to come out there and smoke and drink, but it was empty that night. And I just remember it looked really like Norman Rockwell, like people always rose tint the past, but that night it really looked. And we get to the top of this clearing over these rocks and we see one of them is fallen down and it's made to look kind of like a table, like an altar. And he picks me up with his big hands and he plops me down on the rock, and my little feet are hanging off the edge. And he crouches down beside me and he looks me dead in the eyes and he says, "Isaac, Daddy loves you, don't you? He loves you very much." And I know it's kind of serious, so I say, "Yeah, I know, Daddy." And for the first time that night, he smiles at me. And then he says, "It's very important I do exactly what he tells me to do." And I say, "Okay," and I sit there nice and still like he asks, as he reaches in the bag and he pulls out a length of brown rope and he binds my wrists and ankles and he lays me down on the rock, cradling my head so I don't hit it when I lie down. And it's cold on that rock. I mean, the ropes are really tight and I need to pee, but I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to upset him. And he looks at me with those big eyes as empty and black as the sky, and he says, "It's okay, son, you're being very brave. I need you to do one more thing. I need you to close your eyes real tight and look away." And I don't want him to see me cry, so I nod, and he says, "Good." And he leans down and he kisses me on the forehead. I can still feel his stubble, the smell of his Old Spice. I turn my head and I look away. And I don't know what he's doing, but I don't want to look because he told me not to, but the ropes are really tight and I really need to pee. And I'm scared. And so I open my eye just one crack, just a little bit to see what he's doing. And as I see my father, he's reaching into the bag and he's pulling out a knife. It's a long silver hunting knife with a green handle. It's very sharp and clean. And he turns around and he looks right at me. And he moves really quickly. He covers my eyes and he pushes me up against the rock, and it hurts. And I can feel his sweat, the smell of his Old Spice. And I can feel this sharp point against my, The knife is pressing, is shaking, it's against my neck, and he's breathing, and I can feel that he's getting himself ready to push it in. And then it stops. Everything stops. There's no sounds, it's just a ringing in my ears. And I can still feel the knife pressed up against my neck, but it stopped shaking. And I look through my fingers, and I see my father. He's looking up. He's listening again. But there's like no one there. No one's talking to him. And I say, "Daddy," and he blinks and swallows and comes to like he's waking up, and he looks down at me. And for the brief moment, he looks like he has no idea who the hell I am. And then he finally sees me and the knife at my neck. And he very carefully takes the knife from my throat, and he undoes the laces and ropes, and he's shaking and sweaty. And he gets me back up sitting again. He looks at me very intensely, like this is the first time he's ever seen me. And then I smell something strong, and we both look down, and there's this wet patch where I wet myself. And he suddenly becomes very embarrassed, and he looks away. And there's a cold wind that blows, and my penis shrivels up, and I slide down the rock, and he stands with me there for a moment. And then he picks up the bag, and we start to make our way back down the hill towards the house. Me walking behind him this time, but we're not holding hands. By the time we get back to the kitchen, the sun's come up, and he undoes my laces and helps me out of my soiled clothes, and I let him. And he leaves me there, standing in the middle of the kitchen, half naked. My little penis is dangling from under the hem of my shirt as he comes back in with a change of underpants and a blanket. And he helps me into the underpants, one leg at a time, and he wraps the blanket around my shoulders. And he leads me to the table and sits me down at the head of it. And I watch him in silence as he moves around the kitchen, opening cupboards and drawers. And then he places a bowl in front of me with a spoon. And he fills it with cereal. It's Captain Crunch. And he pours cold milk over it. And he sits down next to me. And we sit there in silence for a moment. Just the sound of milk crackling in the cereal. And I look at my father, and he looks at me. And I pick up the spoon, and I dip it in the bowl, and I begin to eat the cereal. And we just carry on. My father and I, we don't really talk. We never talk about it. We shared a table, we ate together, but we didn't really speak. Not really. Conversations sort of dwindled and dwindled and dwindled until one day they just stopped. And I went to college when I was 17, went up north as far as I could for any place that could resemble, a semblance of civilization. And that was the last time I saw my father. That was the last time we spoke. I said all this to her, Jessica, my wife. And she got real quiet for a moment. And she said, but why would he? I mean, you're his son. He loved you. Yes, he did. I guess he just loved God more.
I can't sleep a wink, my dearest. I can't sleep at night, 'cause the man I love, my darling, he don't treat me right. I can't stomach food, my honey. I can't eat a bite, 'cause the man I love, my darling, he don't treat me right.
Can't see colors anymore. I try, but it's no use. Purples, greens, and reds are gone. All that's left is black and blue. I can't stand the daytime, precious. I can't stand the light. 'Cause the man I love, my darling, he don't treat me right. 'Cause the man I love, my darling, he don't treat me right.
Thanksgiving's always gonna be hectic around our house.
Amen to that.
I mean, you got 14 people around a table with all the kids and the men.
They'd be hard pressed to find the difference.
Oh, yeah, you'd be hard pressed too. I mean, you look at them out there in the yard throwing the football about.
You can't tell which is which.
My Chuck, he used to play quarterback in college, and her Tom, good-looking blonde, and her two beautiful boys,
Dale and Jonah.
and my pride and joy, my little Billy.
He is as big as they come.
He's gonna be a quarterback too someday. I know it.
So we got all them to feed, and then with Tom and Chuck's family and whatnot,
It's always gonna be a big order. You know what I mean?
let's plan it.
Unless you plan it.
We're doing a hers this year.
We're doing it mine. We did hers last
Mine
year.
last year.
And you did such a beautiful job.
Oh, now you stop.
You
You're
did.
making me blush.
My sister is the hostess with the mostest. She'll put on a spread that'll knock your socks off.
Now you stop.
You do.
Well, we alternate it because,
Well, it's like feeding an army.
only with more casualties.
So we always do it together, but we alternate hosting.
The two musketeers.
The two musketeers, that's right.
A host handles meats and the sauces.
The backup does the veggies and the pie, and the men do the washing up after.
She is just my best friend.
Oh, she's mine.
Always was growing up together
We shared a room.
in pink.
Of course.
Do you remember those Thanksgivings?
Oh, Lord, do I? You think this is busy now?
You should have seen it back then. We had aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, family and friends piled up high to the rafters.
And looking out over everything, presiding over it all, was Mama and Daddy.
They were real pillars of the community.
That's it. That's it, in a nutshell. Community. Our town had a real sense of community spirit, and Mama and Daddy, that was just such a big part of that.
Oh, God, yes.
Mama used to play organ in the church.
She looks just like her.
Daddy was the head of the Civic Pride Committee.
Used to organize the charity events and put on the 4th of July parade for the veterans.
He just oozed pride for our town out of every pore.
You would have too. You'd have been real proud to walk around our little town.
Not all of it.
Oh, no. No, not all of it. I mean, there were certain parts of town you wouldn't walk into if you knew it was good for you.
Rough parts of town.
I mean, drinking, gambling, all sorts of hell and holler. I mean, there were some more blue lights in there than there would be red.
Yeah. That's where you would go for women.
Most women.
But it weren't just women either.
And you could go there too if you were
Well, let's just say if our town wasn't a landlocked town, it would have been full of sailors.
I mean, what you choose to do in the privacy of your own private home is your own business. But when you're shaking in my face,
With them bars and parades and whatnot, then it stops being your private business. It stops being decent.
and that's what Daddy was fighting for, to keep things decent.
Keep our town a nice town.
He petitioned to the town council about it. Him and the committee he led it put forward their case very eloquent on why they wanted to stem the corrupting influence on the town. But the town council, they just gave him the whole, thank you for your concern, it's duly noted.
But there's nothing we can legally do about it. They're not breaking any laws.
And Daddy said if that was the case, then their laws were, pardon my French, a piece of shit not worth the paper they're written on.
He was very passionate about it.
Before he'd fight on, and he did.
He organized the committee together for rallies and protests. Mama was there, us too, waving our little banners.
But after a while, the others from the committee,
Friends he started out with.
and they started showing up less and less. It was too hard for them, see.
Daddy started getting angry with them.
Daddy was a very passionate man, see.
Started calling them quitters.
He got a reputation for being high and mighty.
All he's trying to do is raise us.
Raise a family good and proper, doing the best he can.
They walked out on Daddy, abandoned him. Nobody talked to him. We's the only decent ones left in the whole sort of damn town, Daddy say.
It was tough.
They were difficult times.
But if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain.
Who said that?
Dolly!
Amen to that. Do you like Dolly? Oh, we love her. She is just the best.
The best!
Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Oh, Lord,
That woman is just
royalty.
genius.
She really is. She is just so strong and good. And when I think about what she went through as a little girl growing up, all them tough times, and she's just, I'm sorry. It's silly.
Okay.
I shouldn't feel in front of. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's just, it's difficult to know exactly how to start. I mean, we didn't know what was going on.
He was very young.
I was 14. She was 12.
And one night, Daddy comes running in, and he is hollering, girls, get up, we gotta go. And he drags us out of bed and starts putting on our clothes.
And there's all these bags in the hallway packed in a real hurry,
We hear some noise outside.
shouting and screaming.
And Mama is just standing there just watching the TV, just not moving, frozen like.
And Dad's running around like a whirling dervish, grabbing bags.
And on the TV, we can see a car on fire, a police car. And there's all these people that are just smashing shop fronts and pulling out TVs.
People throwing bricks and bottles.
And there is a police officer in a helmet, and he is just whooping 6 shades of hell out of a boy.
And Daddy rushes over, and he yanks us up, and he starts pushing us towards the door, towards the car.
And outside, we can see that there's smoke coming from the downtown.
Orange glow from the fire.
And we say to Daddy, what's going on?
And he said, it's the edge of the world come, just like I said it would.
And we get as far out as the edge of Greenwood where it cuts up on over in Maine, and then Daddy just slams on those brakes.
Road's blocked up ahead.
We gotta go.
Do the rest on foot.
Grabbing all the bags that he can.
He grabs us by the hands and starts running.
And then I says, where's Mama?
And we look back, she ain't moving.
Daddy's yelling at her to come on.
And she's standing there terrified like she's turned to stone or something.
And then out of nowhere, a car just comes in. It plows through that crowd. And it just hits her, and she goes down and crumbles like dust or something.
We're frozen for a moment, like we don't know what to do.
I start hollering.
We both do.
And we start running towards Mama, but Daddy stops us. He holds us back with his big hands, and then he picks us up like we as light as nightingales and just carries us off.
Through the fire and the smoke, glass crunching under his boot.
And we's a screaming, Mama, Mama, and we're reaching out for her lying there, and then Daddy picks us up and carries on and says, don't look back, girls, don't look back. We made it out of the city that night. A diner, on the highway the next morning, just watching it all on TV. The whole city destroyed. Fires and looting. Bodies lined up in the road covered with sheets.
One of them sheets could have been our mama.
And we says to Daddy, when we going back home?
He says, we ain't going back. He's done with everything.
They want to rot in sin, they can have it.
Daddy kept us on the move, kept us going, kept us together.
He didn't trust no one else no more, just us.
He said, I don't need nothing more in this world than you two girls. Y'all are everything to me.
Now that Mama's gone, we saw the family he has left. And families got to stick together.
Amen to that.
Losing Mama was real hard on him.
You never know at first.
Whenever we asked him about it, he just said, I ain't lose Mama. I see her every day in your eyes and your smiling faces.
He put on a brave face for us. It's just you and me now, girls.
3 musketeers.
We hit the road.
Big adventure.
Traveled as far as we could, motel to motel.
Oh, I like that part. Every day, a clean new room, spotless.
Spick and span.
Kept ourselves to ourselves mostly.
Daddy get real mean around people.
Daddy was a passionate man, see.
He started to get angry around people.
Of course, and he'd never been angry before, but with us, he was just...
He started getting in these awful black moods in the car. 100 miles down the road. Won't say a word. Just stare out at the road ahead of us.
And we didn't want to say nothing just in case.
Because he could turn around right as rain again.
We could tell he was going to be like 1 minute from the next.
Some days, he would be good, Daddy. And when he was like that, you couldn't ask for a kinder, more loving father. And then other days, he was just...
Well, he just wasn't.
He started drinking. I mean, he drank before, but he was always a moderate man.
Now he'd be out on the porch, swigging back on a beer, just staring out on the world, giving it the evil eye like he's looking to start trouble or something.
We go up to him and be like, what are you looking at, Daddy?
And he says, nothing. Get inside now, girls. Get. I mean it. Get inside now. Get.
Started getting mean like that every day now.
Stopped driving, came to settle in a place I don't know where.
Didn't like us going outside none.
Guarding us all jealous like.
And then one day, he stopped letting us leave the motel room at all.
I went out to get a soda, ice for my soda, and I got to the door, and all of a sudden, Daddy's like, where you going? And I says, I'm going to get some ice, Daddy. And he says, no, you ain't. Get back here right now. And I says, Daddy, I promise I'll be back. And then before I can even finish my sentence, he comes over and he just slams the door like that.
Near comes off his hinges.
Caught my finger in the jam.
That near came off too.
Here did. I started screaming and hollering. Blood was gushing out. And then when he realizes what he does, he's just gone on and switched like that.
Just changes.
Starts apologizing, saying he never meant to hurt his baby girl. I mean, I still got the scar from that. You see that right there?
Ain't the only one she got. Me neither. See that? That's a belt buckle. And that's a beer bottle.
We ain't left that room in days.
Weeks. Hell, it could have been months, years. I don't know.
It was starting to stink. Not getting any fresh air in there.
Daddy won't open the windows. Won't even let us open the curtains. Piles old takeout laying around the room.
And then whenever we look at him, he would just say, looking, you're always looking at me like that, girls. Why you gotta look at me like that? You're all making me nervous like.
Walking around like we's on broken glass or something.
The only peace we'd get was when he'd go out into town.
Probably go sit in a bar, stew for a while.
We never tried to leave or nothing. We just was enjoying the peace and quiet. We so scared, we didn't even pull back the curtains to take a look up at the stars.
And then one night, we were lying in bed trying to sleep wrapped up in each other like little S's. And Daddy'd been gone a good while, and the room was nice and quiet and calm. And then we hear this scratching at the lock.
He can't get in. He's so drunk, he can't get in.
Starts thumping at the door, starts thumping and hollering, "Girls, girls, girls, open up!"
And he's hoping like if we don't say nothing, maybe he'll go away if we just don't move.
And then he starts screaming, open up, you miserable And then he starts kicking the door. Kicks it and bursts in off his hinges, and he comes bowling in drunk as all hell.
Comes on over and he's like, "What the hell are you playing at? Didn't you hear me?" And I says, "He's asleep, Daddy." And he says, "Don't lie to me." And then he just starts dragging me off the bed and he is hitting me and hitting me.
And I'm like, stop it, Daddy, please stop. And he turns around and screams at me, "Don't look at me. Don't you fucking look at me. You're always looking at me like, why you always gotta look at me like her?" And then he starts crying. Snot dribbling down his chin, head and hands, shoulders shaking, and he looks so small. And I put my hands on his shoulders and I say, it's okay. And he starts crying and mumbling, I don't know what, when he reaches out and he squeezes my hand tight against his face. And he calls me by my mama's name. And then he starts kissing my hand, starts holding and kissing it, laying his head deep into my chest and starts sobbing. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
"I missed you," he says.
I missed you too, I said.
"I never meant to leave you. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry."
Shh. It's all right. We're all right, baby. We're all right. And then he holds me closer, tight as he possibly can. And he reaches up and he kisses me. He kisses me again. I try to push him off, but he's bigger. And I lay there and I let him wait for him. And then his whole body stiffens and quivers and he's done. And then he flops down on top of me, sweat dripping off of him. And he lifts himself up and he looks me in the eye for a split second. There's absolute peace in his face. And I say, it's okay. It's okay, Daddy. And something switches in his eye, and all that peace he had just before crumbles away like dust. And then he jolts all of a sudden, jolts real quick and stops. And there's this little trickle of blood that runs down from his head, and he looks at it like, whose blood is that? Then his eyes roll back and he flops like a fish. And my sister's standing there with a cracked lamp in her hand, face all battered and bust up, cracked like the lamp. Nose flat, eye purple, cheek covered in blood. And she's smiling too. She ain't smiled in ages.
We buried him under a tree by a brook. He would have liked it there. It was quiet and there weren't no people. When we laid him down, he was just like the daddy we remembered. Handsome and dignified. Real peaceful, like. We so proud we could give him that.
We didn't leave a name or nothing saying he was there.
Weren't nobody else's business.
People didn't need to know, just us. That's what's important. Name's just a name, you know.
Took us a while to get used to ours, the new ones. I mean, doctors and social services kept using them, but it took forever for them to stick. People calling us by our names, and we would just be standing there, staring out into space, not realizing they was talking to us.
That's kids for you, though. Always a million miles away in their own worlds. Like my little Billy, always horsing around with his dad.
Chuck is so good with him.
Oh, so good. And he was never funny about it. I mean, sometimes people say something, look at me and say, I ain't old enough to be his mother.
Ain't their business. That's ours. Ain't between nobody except us. We's family, and family's the most important thing you got.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Sure as sunshine leads to rain, sure as true love leads to pain. This old life of yours is trying to wear you down. But there is a simple way you can brighten up your day. Lose those worries, lose that sorrows, lose that frown. And just keep smiling, smiling, no matter what you do. Keep on smiling, smiling, and it'll get you through. As we walk through life, trudging mile after mile, things will look that much better if you smile. Well, you may have hit the bottom of the bottle 'cause you got them problems stacked high into the sky. But you can bet your bottom nickel that through all the thin and thick, I'll be smiling right beside you by your side. So just keep smiling, smiling, no matter what you do. Keep on smiling, smiling, and it'll get you through. As we walk through life, trudging mile after mile, things will look that much better. Things will look that much better. Things will look that much better if you smile.
Ain't nobody trying to make a film about me. That's the third time they've been in there with them cameramen. Can't see them unless you squeeze yourself against the corner of the cell and push your face against the glass. It's German, and this cameraman got two guards on either side of him, and they talking all nice and polite, like they having a normal conversation or something. Are they treating you all right? Is there anything you want to tell your supporters? His voice, his accent, it sounds... I can barely understand him when he talks. I want to be like, speak English, motherfucker. And when your man talks back, it's like living next door to a celebrity. A motherfucker gets more mail than Santa. I only seen him one time. I seen him when they was bringing him back to the cell one time, real skinny. Beat down, but he keep his head up though. And he got this grin on his lips. He get them from all sorts, the letters I mean, and he reads them out loud. He reads them out. People telling him they believe in him, telling him not to give up hope. They praying for his release every day. Newspapers want to do exclusives on him. Women declaring their undying love for him. He get a little smile in his voice when he read those, like he think it's sweet or funny that they don't know no better. All these women so eager to please him, they breaking their hips because they can't bust their legs open quick enough. I used to tell him to shut up. I used to yell, cross at him, knock that off, while coming there and put my foot in your ass. But that just make them read more. Miles, on the other side, he can't get enough of it. He'd be like, read me one more, please, just one more, won't you? And at first I thought he was just jacking off to the dirty ones. But then I realized he's listening. Like a little kid being read a bedtime story. And he's falling for him. Hook, line, and sinker. Says he believes in him. I heard him talking after lights out, through the cells. Miles is just talking, and he's listening, and then all of a sudden Miles starts crying and begging him to save him or some shit. And then this motherfucker says, you are forgiven, my child. You are blessed. And Miles just starts laughing and crying and blubbering like a baby. The boy done lost his mind. That's what happens when they put you in a box. It changes you. You ain't normal no more. You start forgetting the world is bigger than a 10x6. You start thinking small, and then your mind gets small. Like the other day, I was sitting in my cell and I was looking at my toe. And I was just thinking about it, like, how it get there? Like, they say we was all fish and it must have been a fin and we swimming around, and then they say we monkeys in a tree. And then we sitting up sipping cappuccinos. And I don't understand how we got from that to that, you know what I'm saying? Then I start thinking about other shit. Like my wrists, my hands. And when that ain't enough, I start going deeper. The blood, bones, just picking around shit I ain't thought about in years. Start going deeper and deeper until I'm at the bottom. And it's cold and dark down there. And the pressure's coming down on your lungs and you can't breathe. And you try to scream, but you can't, and you can't move your arms, and you feel like you're gonna die. And then you start screaming, and then you realize that you ain't gone nowhere. You right back here where you was before. This place makes you small. Real small. And that's when he comes for you. When you're at your weakest. Starts talking to me through the cell. You all right in there? I thought I heard you crying. No, I don't say nothing. I don't sleep much neither. Do my best thinking at night. All the peace and quiet, just you and the big wide world. And nothing but peace and quiet. I ain't getting much peace and quiet with you around. I knew you was awake. He says it with that little smile in his voice. Like he tricked me or something. So, what's up? What's it to you? I'm just asking. Brother to brother. You ain't no brother of mine. We all brothers. No matter who we are. That's what I always tell people. Is that why they locked you up in here? Oh, it's a lot of things that got me locked up in here, but I guess I wasn't so popular on the outside. If you ain't so popular, how come you getting all this fan mail? How come important people coming to visit you? How come they making movies about you? Well, I guess there's some people that like me, but the people in power, they ain't so partial. So they made sure I wound up in here. Well, you must be mad at them folks that stitched you up then. No, I ain't mad. I forgive them. They don't know what they doing. Well, that's mighty kind of you. But the way I see it, everybody's guilty of something. Like your friend Miles, he ain't on the road for jaywalking. He burnt down a school with 2 kids inside. And then he says, well, what are you guilty of? I've been here 10 years. 10 years. Used to be out in East Lake. Grew up there. Raising hell in my mama's blood pressure. Getting in all kind of shit, me and my cousin. In and out of juvenile hall, nothing serious. Except the last time, when I got out, I knocked up my girlfriend, Tanya. And I figured, if I'm gonna be a daddy, I might as well get responsible. And I did. I got a job locksmithing, good with my hands. Stopped hanging out with my cousin. Started acting real good, keeping on the straight and narrow. Married Tanya. Aisha was born, growing healthy and strong. Then one day this lady accuses me of stealing. Mean old lady, mean as cat shit. I changed the locks. 2 weeks later, she gets broken into and accuses me of copying the key, which is bullshit. Police question me, my file comes up, and it's bullshit. They don't charge me, but my job don't like it. So they let me go. Leave me with a baby and a wife and no way to put food on the table. Then one day, my cousin calls. I ain't seen the boy in a time. Says he wants to see me, has a favor to ask. I tell him I ain't got no car. He says, nah, I'm gonna come to you. So we driving around. He asks me how's life on the straight and narrow. Normally I tell him it's great. But today I ain't feeling that. Truth be told, I'm not feeling. And he blows out this big cloud of smoke, smile on his face, saying, I got a job for you. Pays well. I need a locksmith and a lookout. Someone good. Someone I can trust. You interested? Hell yeah, I'm interested. I'm fucking desperate. Meet me tonight. Fairfax and Sullivan, midnight. I'll tell Tanya that I'm going out to meet a friend who might have a friend who has a job who doesn't like a formal interview, so we getting drinks. Told her not to wake up. I didn't want to have her waiting up for me. I go in the bedroom. Aisha's sleeping in a crib in the corner. And I just watch her. Her little chest just going up and down, up and down. Like a little wave, you know? I kiss her on the forehead, grab my kit and my coat, and I hit the door. Me and my cousin ride out to this house on Maple Street, up in the hills. 20 minutes later, I'm on my knees in front of a Yale lock, just picking my way through. Now, normally I get through a lock like that in a minute, but it's a little different with your cousin standing over you, and you're trying not to be suspicious, and it's dark, and your hands is sweating and shaking. But I get us in there. My cousin says, you on lookout. And he hands me a .22. I ain't held a gun in a long time. Feels like... So I'm just standing by the window for what feels like for fucking ever. Trying not to breathe, trying not to move, trying not to blink. But somebody must have saw us, because all of a sudden I see blue lights and I start panicking. So I run down the hall to get to my cousin, but he's already heading down the back stairs to the back door. Didn't even call out for me. Don't matter, I'm right behind him, out the door, running over the yard. My lungs is bursting and burning, heart beating like an engine. I done got heavy since I had a child. My cousin goes over the fence in one go, and I'm right behind him. And when I go over the fence, I land on the ground like a sack of shit. And before I can get up and run, I hear "don't move," and I turn around without thinking about the gun in my hand, and I shoot. I didn't mean to. I was just reacting without thinking. I mean, what was a kid like that doing in uniform? Baby soft skin. He's 23. Face looked like he didn't know what the hell was going on when he hit the floor. I was the only one caught. It's all on me. Judge was smiling when he sentenced me. And I've been here 10 years, waiting on the chair. Ain't seen my baby since. And then he says to me, "Ask me for my forgiveness." What? Ask me for my forgiveness. And he says it with that smile in his voice, like he's so patient and understanding. You will be forgiven in the hereafter. Fuck you. If you believe in me, if you believe in him, you will be forgiven in the hereafter. You think I give a good goddamn about your forgiveness in the hereafter? You think that's gonna stop them from putting a crown on my head and 40,000 watts through my body? You will be forgiven. What good is that forgiveness when I'm 6 feet underground? What good is that to my daughter? Where's my forgiveness now? I need that forgiveness now. And he says, well, if you want to be forgiven, you got to be sorry. I am sorry. It ain't a day that goes by that I don't think about that boy and what I've taken from him. But killing me, what's that gonna do? That gonna bring him back? That gonna bring him back from the dead? They lock me up in a box, they take away everything I love, everything I ever loved, and now they want to take my life, but it ain't theirs to take, just like it weren't mine to take that boy's. And he says, well, my father works in mysterious ways. I don't care! What the fuck should I care? You think I fucking care? My daddy wasn't nobody. Think I care you the son of God? And he says, everything has a purpose. Man, fuck your purpose. What was his purpose when he took my job? When he let my baby girl starve? When he put that gun in my hand? I asked them for forgiveness. I got down on my knees, I wept, and they didn't want to hear none of it. Well, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm sorry you can't believe in me. Can't believe in him. You didn't ask me to believe. You asked me to beg forgiveness. You didn't ask me if I believed in him. I seen him. I seen his work. I seen his mysterious ways. I seen him put motherfuckers like me in the middle of the earth, just pushing and prodding me, throwing shit at me, knocking me down every time I get cocky enough to stand up proud on my own 2 feet. And now he got me in here, lying, bleeding on the ground, and he wants me to crawl over on my knees and beg him for forgiveness. He's out of his goddamn motherfucking mind. The way I see it, he ought to come down off his high and mighty throne, get down on his knees and beg me for forgiveness, because I damn sure ain't doing it for him.
Woke up this morning, locked up inside a prison cell. Woke up this morning, locked up inside a prison cell.
Looked at those prison bars. I thought I died and went to hell.
My little darling, she's waiting for me outside. Whoa, oh, 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 my little darling, she's waiting for me outside. When she found out I was in here, Lord, you should have heard how she cried. I ain't a bad man, but I gone done a bad, bad thing. Whoa, oh, I ain't a bad man, but I gone done a bad, bad thing. And come tomorrow, the judgment says I'm gonna swing. I shot a young man, his skin turned pale as he turned dead. I shot a young man, his skin turned pale as he turned dead. My skin is black, my heart is blue, and both my hands is stained blood red.
I ain't afraid to die, to wear that noose and kick this world.
No, no, no.
I ain't afraid to die, to wear that noose and kick this world.
But there's just one thing that scares me.
Who's gonna feed my baby girl?
I went down, I went down, I went down to Galilee. I went down to see exactly what I could see. What did I see? What did I see? What did I see in Galilee? I saw the Lord, and he's waiting there for me. Come on. Galilee, Galilee. I heard him preach, I heard him preach, I heard him preach in Galilee. The word so sweet, the word so sweet, the word so sweet, just like honey. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say in Galilee? He said, rejoice, and your spirit will be free. Galilee, Galilee. I saw the wounds upon his hands and in his side. The wound so deep, the wound so deep, the wound so deep, he should have died. But he arose, and came before us where he cried, I am the Lord, your Savior and your God. Galilee, Galilee. He took me to the river Jordan, clean and blue. He washed my sins, he cleaned my soul as good as new. He did it for me, and he can sure do it for you. Just say amen, amen. And he'll come to your rescue. Galilee, Galilee.